XAI didn't just release a new model. They released a team. 4 AI agents working together, debating each other, fact-checking each other, and then, only then, giving you an answer. And Anthropic, they looked at all of that and basically said, cool, we'll just think harder. So, here we are, February 2026. Grok 4.2 just dropped with this wild multi-agent architecture. Claude Sonnet 4.6 just dropped with hybrid reasoning and a context window so big it could swallow your entire code base. And everyone in the AI space is losing their mind trying to figure out which one actually wins. That's what we're doing today. No hype, no fluff, just Grok's 4 agents versus Claude's adaptive brain, round by round, until we know which one you should actually be using. So let's set the stage real quick, because both of these dropped within days of each other, and the timing is not a coincidence. February 17th, Anthropic drops Claude Sonnet 4.6, and they come out swinging. This isn't just a minor update. This is a full upgrade across coding, computer use, long context reasoning, agent planning, the whole thing. And they made it the default model for every free and pro user on Claude.ai. Think about that. Opus-level performance available to everyone. That's a statement. And then, one day later, XAI drops Grok 4.2, except they don't call it 4.2. They call it 4.20. Yes, that's the actual version number. That is a deliberate choice by Elon Musk. You either love it or you don't, but it's on brand. All right, so before we actually throw punches, let's set both of these properly, because how you access each model actually tells you a lot about what it's designed to do. This is Claude. Clean, dark, minimal. You get a prompt bar, a few shortcut categories, write, learn, code, life stuff. And right there in the corner, it already says Sonnet 4.6 Extended. No fuss, no drama. It's ready. And if you click the model selector, you can see exactly what Claude gives you. Opus 4.6 at the top for heavy lifting, Sonnet 4.6 as the default, Haiku 4.5 for speed, and then this toggle right here, extended thinking. That's the feature we care about today. When that's on, Claude doesn't just answer. It reasons. It shows you the work, step by step, like a mathematician writing out a proof instead of just handing you the answer. We're leaving that on. Now, flip over to Grok, and immediately, different vibe. Black background, stars in the background, big, bold logo. It feels like a spaceship interface, which, considering it's owned by the guy who builds actual spaceships, makes sense. You've got deep search, imagine, pick personas, voice chat. This thing has options, but the one we want is right up in the model selector. Look at that drop down. Auto, fast, expert, and then Grok 4.20 beta. And right underneath the name, it just says 4 agents. 2 words, that's it. No explanation, no marketing copy, just 4 agents, as if that's completely normal. We're selecting that. Both set up, both loaded. Time to actually see what these things can do. Let's run the rounds. All right, round 1. And I wanted to kick things off with something every vibe coder has tried at least once. A particle gravity simulator. Single HTML file. Click the spawn particles. They attract each other using actual Newtonian gravity. They merge when they collide. Trail effects, gravity slider, clear button, the whole thing. Same prompt, both models. Let's see what happens. Claude gets the prompt first, and you can immediately see it doing something interesting. It's not just writing code, it's thinking about the code. You can see it reading its front-end design skill, envisioning the aesthetic, planning before it builds. That extended thinking mode is working in the background. Grok gets the exact same prompt, and then, look at that. Agents thinking, 1 minute, 47 seconds. And you can actually see them working. Agent 1 is building the canvas and trail system. Agent 3 is independently implementing the full in-body gravity formula, F equals G times M1 times M2 over R squared. They're not waiting for each other. They're running in parallel, and then the coordinator picks the best approach. Now, the results. Claude produced this. Called it Gravity Field, dark space background with little stars scattered across the canvas. Stats panel in the top left, particles, merges, largest particle size. Two sliders, gravity constant and trail length, and a clear universe button, which, honestly, great name for a button. And when you actually spawn particles, it looks cinematic. Glowing blue and white orbs drifting toward each other, merging, getting bigger. It genuinely looks like a space sim. The aesthetic is polished right out of the box. And Grok gives us Gravity Sim, retro neon, cyan border glow around the canvas, big chunky pixel font at the top, and look at the gravity slider. It defaults to 420. Of course it does. It's Grok 4.20. That is absolutely intentional, and I respect it completely. And in action, it works. Particles spawn, they attract, the trails are visible, merging happens. It's more of a retro arcade feel versus Claude's cinematic space vibe. Both are functional, both hit every requirement in the prompt. So, who wins round one? But if you're a vibe coder and you care about how the output looks, Claude's result is immediately more impressive. The aesthetic is more refined without being asked for it. Grok's is fun, it's got personality, but it feels like a prototype. Round one, Claude takes it, barely. Round two, I wanted something with actual logic, a Pomodoro timer. Full sessions, short breaks, long breaks, task tracking, session stats, notifications when a session ends. Something you'd actually use. Same prompt, both models. Let's go. Claude builds this, named it Pomo, and immediately it's clean, like really clean. Dark background, circular progress ring, big bold timer front and center. Focus mode, short break, long break, all tabbed at the top. Stats along the bottom, sessions, focus time, streak counter, task list on the right with an add button. And look at this. When the focus session actually ends, it pops a notification right at the top. Pomodoro complete, time for a break. The ring color changes to teal, it switches to short break automatically. The session counter goes up. It's handling the full state machine correctly first try. And each mode has its own distinct color. Short break is teal, long break goes purple. That's a detail nobody asked for. Claude just decided that'd be a better experience and did it. Now, Grok. Grok calls it Pomo Flow. Layout is different. Task list lives in a sidebar on the left, timer takes up the right side. Big, chunky circle, bold numbers, play button right inside the ring. It's a different compositional choice, and honestly, it works. Short break switches the ring to blue. The progress arc drains as the timer counts down. Clean animation, smooth. And tasks actually work. You add one, it shows up in the sidebar, and the bottom says, everything's saved in your browser. Grok thought to add local storage persistence. Your tasks survive a page refresh. Claude's don't. So, here's the thing. Claude's app looks better. The polish is there. The color-coded modes, the session notification, the stats panel. If you showed this to someone, they'd think it was a real product. But Grok's app is actually smarter under the hood in one key way. It remembered to persist your data. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between a prototype and something you'd actually ship. Round two, this one's a draw. Claude wins on design, Grok wins on functionality depth. Call it even. Okay, round three, and I saved this one deliberately because this is where we separate the models that can code from the models that can actually engineer. The prompt, build a node-based workflow editor. Drag nodes onto a canvas, connect them together with wires, multiple node types, the whole thing in a single HTML file. If you've ever used N8N or Node.red, you know what this is. It's not a widget. It's not a timer. This is a tool, a real piece of software with drag and drop, dynamic connections, state management. This is a legitimately hard thing to build. Let's see what happened. Claude called it Flow, Workflow Editor v1.0. Just look at this thing. 9 different node types in the sidebar. Each one with its own color, its own icon, showing input and output counts right in the panel. The canvas has a grid, nodes have labeled ports, and the connections between them. Purple Bezier curves, flowing, organic, beautiful Bezier curves that route between nodes like a real circuit diagram. 10 nodes, 8 connections, all draggable, all connectable. Instructions at the bottom of the screen. This is genuinely one of the most impressive first-pass outputs I've seen from any AI model on a complex UI task. Now, Grok called it node flow. And look, it works. You can drag nodes, you can connect them, it runs. But the gap here is significant. 3 node types total: trigger, action, decision. No HTTP nodes, no transform, no merge, no filter. The connections are simple green arrows instead of routed curves. There's no port labeling, no color-coded logic paths. To be fair, you can build parallel workflows in it, 2 separate chains running side by side. That part works. But compared to what Claude produced, this isn't close. Claude didn't just build a workflow editor, it built the right workflow editor. It made architectural decisions about what node types matter, how errors should look different from success paths, how to label ports so users understand what connects to what. That's not code generation, that's software thinking. Round 3, Claude, and it's not close. 3 rounds, 2 very different models, and here's where we land. Grok 4.2 is genuinely exciting. The 4-agent architecture is real, it's visible, and watching it work in parallel is something that feels different from anything else out there right now. Its real-time data access through X is a genuine edge that nothing else has. And if you're a trader or you need breaking information fast, it's not even a competition. But for vibe coders, for developers building things, Claude Sonnet 4.6 is the safe bet. It thinks harder. It makes better design decisions without being asked for it. It builds things that feel finished, not just functional. Round 1, it wins on polish. Round 3, it wasn't even a fair fight. The one thing Grok proved, though, and I want to be clear about this, is that the 4-agent approach works. Watching Benjamin and Agent 3 solve the same problem 2 different ways and then synthesize the best answer, that's a genuinely different paradigm. And as it matures out of beta, that architecture is going to get scary good. So here's the honest answer to which one you should use. Use Claude when you're building. Use Grok when you need to know something right now. And if you're smart, you use both. If you want to see me run these 2 through a harder test, something more real-world, more complex, let me know in the comments what you want to see. Drop a like if this was useful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.